now. I'm starting.
Okay, good. Okay, you feel good? You feel like you've
Yeah,
got enough?
I'm perf.
Okay, cool. Then we'll just do our little clappy clap.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Gets the fucking blood pumping.
If only you were that enthusiastic any other time.
In Reno.
I was going to say that we've recorded this podcast.
Oh. I thought you meant with our
Welcome to
our,
No Sad
our,
Face.
our clandestine rendezvous.
Nope. Welcome to No Sad Face, the Toxically Positive Kingdom Hearts podcast. The person you're hearing on the other end of this is regular Pat. He doesn't need any more fucking flowers, so listen to me.
Woo!
My name is PJ from Cabletown. I am a young 30-something, 5'10", from Ohio, former VP of a multi-million-dollar company, and now I am struggling to find work and have a part-time job that I can't talk about. This week we're talking about Missing Link.
Yeah, we sure are. Man, I'm excited. I'm so excited to talk about this ghost of this franchise.
But before we do, Pat, it's your news segment, and we have news.
We do. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's the Kuji, baby.
Oh my God, look at that!
And
baby.
that's you take it from here.
Sure. Before we get to this, though, we have to acknowledge something that I don't think we've acknowledged yet. One of the worst people we know hinted that we don't know him. We don't know James Woods. But he did hint that he recorded for Kingdom Hearts 4. Didn't say it, but said, I wish I could talk about it. Which means it's happening. With Bill Farmer.
I guess.
James Woods is a lot of things, but he's never been wrong about when he's recording for Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
And what else could he be recording for?
That saying, I wish I could say it, but I can't. That it's just like he's such a dumb man. Right.
Or maybe they won't. Fuck James Woods. But recently, just this past week, it was announced that there is going to be another Kingdom Hearts Ichiban Kuji. Talked about this last year when it happened. Talk about it again this year. The Kuji is a lottery system where it's like a tiered lottery. Like a lot of people win like the bottom prize, and then it goes up and up and up until only like 1 or 2 people win the final prize, right? And they've done them for Kingdom Hearts. They've done them in the past. It's usually like a bunch of different Kingdom Hearts merch at different levels, and the top is usually a brand new piece of merch, but they're usually like really nice figures or statues or whatever. Every time that these have happened, it has intentionally happened alongside some major Kingdom Hearts event. Last time that there was a Kuji, it was called the Linking Hearts Kuji, and it was celebrating Missing Link. We know because of those wafers that Missing Link was supposed to begin its open pre-registration around June of 2024 originally.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. The next year, the Kuji came back. They never repeat Kujis, you guys. Like, yes, there have been other Kingdom Hearts Kujis, but they've never had the same name and prize lineup, right? So, including Missing Link merch. So, when it happened again last year, I was like, this is it. Missing Link is getting released. It's happening.
Yeah.
They released it so far in advance, yada, yada. May rolls around right before the Kuji, right? I'm screaming to the top of my lungs, we're going to get news, we're going to get news, we're going to get news.
Oh, we got
Kuji happened, Missing Link got canceled. This Kuji is called Volume 5. Just called Volume 5.
I know that. That's weird.
And the top tier prize, I don't believe as of this recording the prizes have been revealed yet, but the top tier prize are a set of new statues, Sora and Riku's Stations of Awakening from Com Jade of Memories promo. So it's their Stations of Awakening from the Com era.
You don't really read into the top prize that much then, do you? Because like what synergy would...
The only thing that I can think of is that it is celebrating the Switch announcements of a native Switch 2 port. But I wouldn't necessarily read too much into that because the top prizes have not always really coincided with the game or the event themselves in terms of like the prize. It's just the event, right? The hype. The Kuji itself starts in the middle of D23 this year. Smack dab in the middle. D23 is a biannual event. It's kind of like Disney's Comic-Con. Disney puts it on. It is huge, right? While Kingdom Hearts 3 was in development, it hit every D23 that it was a part of. Japan had a D23, so they alternated. 1 year was America, 1 year was Japan, 1 year was America. They don't do it in Japan anymore. Now, Kingdom Hearts 4 has been out of the public eye since it was announced. So it has not appeared at anything, right? If They are targeting a 2027 release, even an early 2028. This D23 is the only one that they can use. This is their last shot at having Kingdom Hearts 4 at D23, unless it releases late 2028, which, my God.
That's not even a real year, man. Knock that off.
I know. But that fact, paired with 25th anniversary next year, paired with the little hints and things that we've had, paired with the Kuji, it feels like there could be some smoke around D23 this year.
Smokier than turning into a fucking random state of play.
Yeah.
Remind me what the date is for D23?
August 14th through the 16th is D23, and the Kuji is August 15th.
Clear my schedule.
So it is smack dab. I wonder if I should go. No, I'm not going to go. I'll wait and see what they say.
Where is it? It's going to be California?
Anaheim. It's in Anaheim, right next to Disneyland every time.
There you go.
So there you go. Yeah. So that's the Kingdom Hearts news.
Yeah, it's something.
So what's been going on in your world?
Well, I'm working on a video that will have been out for probably 2 or 3 weeks at this point, maybe 4 weeks. The Cage 2 novel video that you did assets and the thumbnail for. I've been working really hard on that, and I'm very excited for it. I hope you all liked it by the time you're listening to this.
Alex and I went thrifting over the weekend at like the good gays that we are at a used bookstore. And Alex noticed an omnibus of all of the Kingdom Hearts novels just chilling there.
It's crazy.
And I said, that is too expensive. We're not doing that. Whatever. I looked it up on eBay.
And he said, I'll get it for you.
It was going 3 times as much on eBay. And he got out of the car and went back into the store and got it. And I know, I love him. He's
what a sweetheart.
The light of my life. I do not deserve him.
You're worth
and
it.
Also, everybody that's ever met him, he probably would hate that you're doing that impression of him. But everybody that's ever met him, you know, he's just a good guy. Everybody loves him. The novel collection is over 12 pounds.
It's just absolutely bonkers.
He put it on my lap, neutered me.
Send me a picture of it after this. Again, I'm talking about the book.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that was my weekend.
But yeah, Missing Link. That's our course, our main course today.
Yep, it sure is.
Well, we have a great guest. We'll get into that, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know, I was there when the trailer for 4 and Missing Link released. I watched that live, and then I got sent an email 2 years later about, hey, do you want to partner with Square Enix to show off Missing Link? And I said, absolutely. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'm still waiting to hear back.
Had a couple of trailers. Had a couple of tests, which you and I didn't play. Obviously, we don't really have a lot of first-hand information about that. Something that one of our comments brought up that we did not talk about yet. Missing Link had a closed kind of control group situation where they had a couple of different focus groups that they invited people in to talk about the game, to look at stuff, whatever. And then they had a closed theater trailer that has never seen the light of day of Missing Link. I don't know if trailer is the right word necessarily. It had a lot of little previews of Disney content. So people who saw it reported saying, like, I saw an area that looked like Dwarf Woodlands, and I saw Olympus, and we saw a world that had like a moon and looked like it might have been like a village, an Italian village on the ocean. And some people were like, that's Pinocchio. And some people were like, that's Luca.
Yeah.
And we'll never know. We'll never know if it ended up happening or not.
But
sad. It is interesting. Yeah. The game had its beta, and it was supposed to have a wider test, and a lot of things were supposed to happen, and it didn't. It kept getting delayed until it was formally canceled in May of 2025, depending on when this episode is going up, a year ago.
Yep.
And that's the last that we've heard of it, and it's just very sad. And for some people, it's a good thing.
And we'll get into that in detail in our interview.
Yeah. I mean, no matter which way you slice it, it is just, it's a bum deal that we just have not had Kingdom Hearts content. And part of that is Square's fault, of course. And part of it is just the economy and the way that certain things have happened. I do also want to acknowledge the game did have some data mining. That's not officially released information, obviously, so I don't want to talk too much about it, but it is out there. A lot of people are assuming a lot of things of what the game was and could have been, and I've seen some things that I think are right, and I've seen a lot of things that I think are being wildly misinterpreted. So, I do think for me, and our guest will not talk about it that much, but something that I mourn is the customization aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
It had a really in-depth character creator. In Key and Unchained Key, you kind of had like a palette that you could choose from, and you had certain things that you could mix and whatever. Missing Link cracked that open. You had a collar dropper where you could just kind of find it on the wheel, and you could wear whatever you wanted, and you could have your hair have like highlights and lowlights, and you could have heterochromia, and your skin could be whatever. Like it was wild, right?
Well, Happy Pride.
Yeah, Happy Pride. I mean, the characters were gendered. There was a male body and a female body, but I think you could kind of get away with wearing whatever you wanted. Yeah. I mean, Keyblade wielders can't be super fat, apparently. But other than that,
yeah,
it was really inclusive.
There is unfortunately a weight filter for Keyblades for some reason.
Fuck my drag, I guess. Me and Pence are just going to stay on the computers. Damn. Hot damn.
Damn.
Of what we learned from Missing Link, though, came from the beta. The story, in case anybody kind of needs to know, you are a Keyblade wielder who is washed upon the shores of Scala ad Caelum with no real memory of where you came from, roughly sometime between Union Cross and Dark Road. You show up, you get inducted into the Baroque Society, and you just go on missions. You dive into this thing called the Astral Plane, which is like a mental link between worlds and across time and space. You are looking for pieces of the Book of Prophecies, which has been fragmented over the eons. There are all of these different societies that want the same thing that you do, but there's also like a counterculture of people who are trying to upset the balance and who are also hunting pieces for nefarious reasons. You go to Disney worlds across time and space, and that's kind of all we really knew about it officially. Yep. And that takes us to the rest of the beta, which we have not played. Pat, I need you to go through your junk box and find a heart binder.
Yes, let me go get that. Okay, here it is.
Yeah, cool. Well, before you go in there, you gotta take a break.
Okay, of course.
Notice That Face is brought to you by our friends at Patreon. Our patrons, they really have our back.
I love them.
Patrons get all sorts of perks, including the shout-outs at the $7 Wayfinder level.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. Speaking of my man, Alex is one of the Wayfinders, and it's his turn. Best guy ever. We love him so much.
Let me go get my fiance's credit card, and we can see about getting her a shout out.
Yeah, let me name her by full name.
Yeah.
No, he's great. He also told me that he didn't want this, so this is the acknowledgement. And we love you, and we're moving on. Next is someone by the name of Jera, or it could be Jira. I am not sure. Side note, if you have a name pronunciation and I'm fucking it all the way up, if I've gotten to you before, or if I'm gonna get to you, shoot me a message, please.
Yeah, let us know.
I don't know anything about you, and your profile picture is not super clear. It looks like it might be an action figure of some sort, and I don't recognize the name. Do you know Jira? Jira?
I don't think so. But I like the mystery.
Honestly, that's how you keep a relationship fresh, is mystery.
Mystery.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. Pat and I have been doing this for a long time, and it's always nice to not know what's coming next.
Don't even know what PJ stands for.
And you probably never will. Isn't that fun?
God. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I stand for honesty. I stand for decency. I stand for equality. I stand for making airplanes just a little bit more comfortable.
Is this
Those
like
are my hot button issues?
Oh, I thought this was like going to be I thought you got us a sponsor.
I would never, right? Because I wouldn't want to upset a brand by having you not know what the hell I'm talking about.
Totally. Just without my say so, my knowledge. Yeah.
Speaking of someone who doesn't know what they're talking about and who doesn't need any more flowers, Sonny Novus is one of our $7 patrons, and believe it or not, it is his turn.
Can't get away from this guy. I feel like that's all we've talked about for the past 29 minutes and plus an hour and 30, I think.
If I never see him again, it will be fine. That's not true at all. That's horrible. I thought that would be a good, funny setup for the next bit, but it just feels wrong to say.
It'd be so sad, yeah.
Sonny's great. Sonny
makes
is
my day, Sonny.
He's one of the people that has really kind of turned around YouTube creator space in terms of talking about Kingdom Hearts, like making really thoughtful, good videos. I credit Sonny for being an early adopter of that, you know?
Yeah.
Mel definitely led the way, and I think a lot of people followed in their footsteps, and Sonny is definitely one of them. Maybe he doesn't make videos as quick as he should, but they're always really well produced and thought out. And, you know, Sonny's also just a talented voice actor. He was in Hit the Bricks along with you.
Yeah.
If you don't know what Hit the Bricks is, you're probably better off for it. And yeah, you know, we love Sonny on this channel, but I gotta say, talking nicely about him really makes my cheeks hurt in a bad way.
Yeah. Both pairs of my cheeks are sore from this. I don't even know what the implication is there. It's just being
I think the implication is that
of
box of junk has a lot of pointy things.
Yes.
That's what I think.
Should I get back into that?
Yeah, let's transition back. But thank you to our patrons. We love you all.
Thank you so much.
And we're back. What a refreshing, wonderful break, as always.
I needed that.
You really, Pat, you seem like you just woke up from a nap.
It's almost as if we set a little sneaky alarm, 2:45 before 3 p.m. my time, recording time.
But, you know, I have to say, I'm glad that we're back. I really want to dig into it. I'm really happy that you're like holding space and that you admitted that maybe we need to bring someone in.
Yes.
So yeah, you actually said that you found the Heartbinder for today. So if you want to tell us what it is.
I know exactly what it is. Let me just get this dust off. Engraved on this Heartbinder, it appears to be some sort of microphone, maybe a recording device of some kind.
Oh, okay.
Who would that represent?
It's going to be a straight guy. All right.
Yes,
we know that.
I do see the symbol, the international symbol for heterosexuality.
I don't know who that could be. If I had to get, it's Damo, because this is the Missing Link episodes. That's what.
No. I found. Look, there's some text on here, and it's a little scuffed, but it is not Damo.
Let's just focus on it and bring in our guests.
Right, really look hard.
I'm looking, I'm feeling, I'm waiting, I'm summoning. Is anyone here yet?
It's me.
Oh my god.
Demo.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Hello, Sonny. Hello, Sonny Novus.
Hello.
Million Dreams Award winner, voice actor, the theorist, person that I like. Usually.
Amazing.
And
it seems like I'm
wonderful
everywhere
as
but
well.
my own channel. So that's great. Thank you for picking me up off the streets and bringing me here. You know, because you couldn't afford Demo, obviously.
You know, he just didn't respond.
He charges so much.
So how's it going?
It's going great. I'm going to talk about Missing Link, I guess, because I'm the only guy on the planet that has played it, I suppose. So
apparently
they didn't release a beta for the US, which is so strange. So I guess
they rub it right in my face.
Yeah, got to rely on a Brit to yeah. Anyway,
there were 2 beta tests.
Well, wait. Actually, before that, can we like hone in on the trailer or like the release where it was, or like rather the KH4 like reveal and like what Sonny thought of that when you first watched it?
Sure. Let's get your opinion on that, Sonny.
Yeah, I mean it's very mixed because it was released in conjunction with the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, and naturally I think most people are going to be like, well, what game am I going to care about more, the big AAA title or this yet another mobile game?
Or the Dark Road finale. Don't forget about that. That was there too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Really jockeying for position here.
Yeah.
So people thought that, I guess they learned their lesson from like just the mobile market kind of not being as it once was before lockdown and everything. And people were just looking at Missing Link and being like, what is this? Like, why did they announce this like next to Kingdom Hearts 4, I guess? And I think it was really interesting. First of all, the dearly beloved banger, I think.
I love
that track. And it was really interesting to see just this kind of segmented flash forward and flashback of like the Dark Seeker saga, and it saying the unwritten era, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is like a blind spot in the Master of Masters prophecy or something like that. So this is really interesting. And then just seeing those designs, and you know, there it is, like this old version of Scala that we kind of don't really know anything about, and it's just that's what really hooked me. It's just this environment, which is just like so unlike. I mean, Kingdom Hearts as a series has had its fair share of, you know, interesting environments with Twilight Town, Traverse Town, and but something about this Scarlet was really like, it kind of doesn't feel traditional to me. This feels like something that I'm not supposed to know about as a Kingdom Hearts fan, but yet I do. And to actually get to play in that town was really, really amazing. So
I hate the use of the past tense there. That made me actually actively sad.
I'm going to make that mistake a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The game up front was promised literally to fill in the missing pieces of the story and the lore, kind of a catch-all for a lot of different things. And that prospect is exciting. And I think it's smart, or it would have been smart, for Nomura to be like, hey, before this new saga really starts, let's just clear house of all the things that are kind of left over that we really don't have the capacity to get into, or little questions that might not be relevant to the plot or getting characters from A to B, but that you've been wondering for a long time. And I think that would have been nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
But of course, also immediately overshadowed by Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, it goes to show how like aligned their development was as well. Like they wanted you to think about Missing Link when thinking about Kingdom Hearts 4, and to fill in that gap was just so important for a time. And yeah, it's just a shame how things turned out, I think.
Mm-hmm. The first beta test for Missing Link was said in that initial trailer to be happening in 2022. That did not happen. There was a very
an omen of things to come.
There was a very small test that happened in Japan in January of 2023. It's called a prototype test. And it had some elements in there. It was not quite there yet. It was not fully fleshed out. Story content wasn't really there. And then a second round was announced, and to North America's shock, it was for Japan and the United Kingdom and Australia.
The big three.
Else. Yeah.
Big three.
It was announced
To me,
in October of 2023. And it started in November 29th. Can you talk a little bit about that and about what your reaction was to the test and when you started playing and all that good stuff?
Yeah, I remember my lifestyle at the time really matched what Missing Link had to offer, because I'd recently got on a new phone. I had like a Samsung Galaxy something. I was working at the time, so I was just, throughout my commute to work and back, just playing it all the time. I had it in my pocket on shift, because I had like a mode where you could like go and experience the GPS functionality and like grind automatically while the phone was in your pocket, which was really nice. And it would record your steps. So I was, walking all the time on the bus and everything like that. And of course I was streaming at the time, and I streamed every single day when the beta was live. And I guess my initial experience was really positive, because I think one of the issues that a lot of the bridge titles and handheld titles had was always being compared to the mainline titles in terms of gameplay and everything like that, and just scale, which is kind of not really fair, but it's just kind of a sign of the times with the Game Boy and the Nintendo DS and the PSP. And I think Birth by Sleep definitely felt and seemed a lot more akin to a traditional Kingdom Hearts game. But of course, with gameplay, there was a lot to kind of catch up on. And with Missing Link, I really do feel as if, in terms of just a non-numbered Kingdom Hearts title, it really did feel the most like one. And this is something like, I personally really like Dream Drop Distance's gameplay. I think every Kingdom Hearts game has something to offer. But with Missing Link, they were really like, okay, how can we put the mechanics of Kingdom Hearts 3 on a screen that fits in your hand? And what was really interesting to me, if you wanted me to talk about the mechanics and stuff, there was one interesting thing about the mechanics of Missing Link to me, or rather the lack thereof, because they omitted guard. Guarding was not an option in Missing Link. You could not block any attacks in the traditional sense. And when you hear that, you might think, what the heck? Why? That's so weird. But then you think about it a little more, and I feel like it was very crafty on the developer's part and very intentional, because a big part of an action RPG like Kingdom Hearts is reacting to the elaborate animations of whoever or whatever you're fighting against.
Mm-hmm.
And, let's just say like a really difficult mission were to pop up and the rewards were super high, but the mission is, I don't know, defeating a really difficult enemy of some sort.
Mhm.
This was not a single player game. It was an online multiplayer live action service game with single player elements. So it wouldn't have been in their best interest to allow a player to like master the system like a number title in such a way where they could like play reactively and just wait, learn enemy patterns, and then punish, rinse and repeat. So removing the guard, which is really crafty, forces the player, on paper at least, to be more like committal, like take more risks, probably take more damage, die, and then spend resources, aka
Money.
stay in the fight. So like, yeah. So I really do think, like, if you think about it like that, it really makes sense. There were defensive options, but they cost like resources, so they would cost MP. So the strategy deteriorates over time. And there was a mission in particular, I believe, mission 30 of the beta. I remember this because it was the last mission of all of the missions that you could have, where you would fight these Keyblade wielders, and they were called Peace Hunters because we'll get into pieces and what they mean for the game later. But they were basically these like masked Keyblade wielders that would shank you. It was basically just like London, so they really captured that. People in masks just trying to attack you. So 5 of these Peace Hunters back to back, you have to fight them. But you would start the mission by fighting 2 of them at the same time. Then after beating the next 2, another 2 would come out. After beating these 2, another 2 would come out. And finally, the 5th, strongest one would come out. And the way the mission was paced was that you would so conveniently spend all of your resources on the first 4 guys, and you wouldn't really have anything by the time the 5th guy came out. Like, your MP was just gone. You couldn't use your pieces. You couldn't use anything. And you were also on a time limit, so you couldn't run around, run the clock, cheese the fight.
Stall them,
So it was so meticulously designed to promote resource management and preparation, rather than, playing it like a traditional single-player Kingdom Hearts game. Using some of the pieces, which are these like kind of like medals in Union Cross and throughout the Key Saga, they were used as these resources. You could get them through the whole gacha mechanic and pull them, and you could equip them, and they were represented as classic Kingdom Hearts characters and Disney characters and stuff. So you could use these pieces if you had the MP to like brute force a fight, or like, for example, Goofy had like this flame dash where you could just press a button, or rather touch the screen, and you would do like this command dash, and you'd be completely invulnerable, and that could be your guard. So it's something like that where it's just more committal, but it kind of falls in line with like the design philosophy of the game itself. So kind of, iffy, I guess people feel about the whole gacha philosophy with this game, and how the mechanics were like kind of, they took that in full stride for sure. But I kind of like that. Kind of gone on a tangent about guarding there, but yeah, that was just
questions.
one of the Sure.
And forgive my lack of familiarity with the broader systems here, because my intent was to kind of stay away from Missing Link stuff in the hopes that I would get to experience it for myself one day, and form my own opinions. So I really have such little understanding of like how the gameplay worked in general. But when I think about how I experienced Union Cross back whenever I played that, probably in 2016 was the core of it. I always thought like this was a game where you don't really get good or bad at this game. It's just, did you put the time or the resources or money into this? Would you say that Missing Link was a game that you could be good or bad at?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the gameplay loop was just the classic Kingdom Hearts, like mashing the X button, for example. So I hooked up my PlayStation controller to my phone and I played it like that. I believe Damo had like a whole tablet that he played on, so you could actually play it like a
Mm.
kind of like a traditional Kingdom Hearts game, not just on your phone
Right.
in your hands.
A lot of people don't know about the controller input still.
Yeah. It really honestly saved the game. Like, I couldn't imagine the game shipping without that feature, honestly.
But like, so what? They expected you to like be on the subway or walking around, and like you're gonna play the game that way because you're supposed to be moving around and like doing stuff, right?
Right. So I guess it was split into two segments. There was like the overworld kind of traditional, if you get into a battle in Kingdom Hearts, you kind of inside like a invisible wall, like the confines of this arena, and you'd fight the Heartless or the enemies or whatever. So there was that gameplay. And then there was something, I believe, they changed the name of it. It's like Astral Dimension or Astral Plane.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so you would go there, and that would be like your GPS kind of Pokemon Go-esque. Going back to Pokemon, I guess. Pokemon Go functionality, where you just explore the world or your own terrain. Kind of like get experience goalposts and get like cool little, you could hunt for pieces, you could open gates and kind of call for raid battles and stuff like that. You could get chests and they'd give you all sorts of rewards, and so that was kind of like the big split. There was like the traditional gameplay loop of Kingdom Hearts that we all know, and then this new thing that I have to imagine cost a lot of money and resources to just make. And I can't remember. Correct me if you know the answer, but when was Missing Link kind of announced to be in development? Was like 2019, like before Kingdom Hearts 3 or something, right?
No, Missing Link was announced. Well, I guess it depends on, like, they alluded to the teams working on multiple games after 3 was wrapped up, right? So that was when they're like, well, we actually have teams working on this many games, and no one really knew what it meant. Missing Link formally wasn't announced until the 20th anniversary event in that trailer, but we know that it actually began development pretty much the same time that Kingdom Hearts 3 launched. But even earlier than that, the framework of it was based on a demo, a research and development project that they made when Kingdom Hearts 3 was being tested back in 2018 with the first round of Kingdom Hearts 3 demos. There was a vertical slice that was developed from another internal team in the Kingdom Hearts team that made a new game based off of the gameplay of the demo, trying to explore a new battle system, and that got greenlit to become its own game, which became Missing Link. So you could technically say that the early frame of Kingdom Hearts 3 in 2018 became Missing Link.
I mean, that is, to hear it laid out like that, like, it makes it even more devastating to think about being somebody who worked on this project, like potentially going back to 2018, 19, because you think of Missing Link as like, something that wasn't a thing. It came out of the aether in 2022 alongside the KH4 trailer, but like, no, people have been pouring hours into this for so long, and to see it go the way that it went, it really is tragic. And I'm sure we've either covered this already in this episode, or we'll get into it, but the gotcha elements obviously are not anyone's preference, right? But
No.
I do think it's overall such a detriment and such a dagger to the the welfare of the series. Is it overall a good thing for the gaming industry in general that we don't have another gotcha game? I think probably. It just sucks that it had to be ours,
There's something in the game that I find also kind of predatory, but I'm still not entirely sure how the system works. With the GPS element, Sonny, something I've read that I might be conflating in my mind was that the GPS element really rewarded you if you traveled like longer distances than what was achievable on foot.
Yeah. So if you had like a bike or just a car, like, you could really ramp up that AP. Like, you really get a lot of mileage out of that. And it's so hard to like equate mechanics in a beta to what would have been in the final product. So I imagine a lot of things would have been nerfed. So I guess the game itself had a lot of balancing issues. It was really fun. Just off the bat, I just want to say it was an incredible experience to play it, and you just got attached to so many things, just walking around, listening to the music, and Like, you could feel yourself become attached to it. It was just a fun, exciting experience overall. But yeah, there was some kind of questionable balance decisions for sure.
Right. Well, this is why I have a problem with it. The game in that form was obviously and only built for Japanese mobile users.
Yeah.
The reason why mobile gaming got as big as it did in Japan and still exists as much as it does in Japan, so ubiquitous, is because they're all riding trains to work. And that culture, you see it a lot in a lot of cities that are, walkable or, quote unquote, not walkable. So it's not a stretch to see like, oh, okay, you'll walk a certain amount of blocks to your train station and then you commute the rest of the way to work, whatever. That barely exists in North America. Now, I don't know what the data agreement was for Missing Link, and I who knows what it would have been. I don't know how much they were tracking you. I don't know if they would have sold your data. But the fact of the matter is that they had it.
Absolutely. It's kind of makes you wonder if Missing Link was a children's game. I don't think it was.
They probably didn't see it that way.
Yeah, I can't, because first of all, like they want you to spend money, and I can't imagine a lot of kids getting their parents' credit card out to get, I don't know, Goofy or something. I can't really imagine that. But yeah, for sure, I totally understand that. And I think it kind of leads into like a lot of the wider kind of issues the game had, and it was just very questionable from the start. Biggest trip ups that I had playing was just the connections with raid battles, and the way it was you get together with a number of players, and you'd fight like the behemoth, the big Kingdom Hearts 1 fight, and it was cool in concept, but I never once had a solid connection. And of course, I was playing with players in Japan and Australia as well, so I guess if the game were to come out, maybe the connection would have been more stable if I was just playing locally within my country and playing players like that. But the amount of phones with, different processing powers and, all coming together, all of these, elaborate effects and everything like that, they probably had a lot of trouble getting the game to run efficiently on a variety of different handhelds. And I just kind of, I imagine just the sheer amount of research that went not only into like the mobile game market, but just like the ambition of the game itself and the scope of the mechanics and how they would kind of work long term and how they could keep that up and running. Because, with live service games, like a lot of them are just, what is the most efficient way to sell a product in the most, just the cheapest way possible and get people to pay for it and stuff. So that's just something about the gacha philosophy that you will never escape. And that's one of the big issues that people had with Missing Link, was that no matter how good the game were to look or would have looked, it could have had graphical updates, it could have had incredible story elements, but it was still kind of bound by this gacha system. And just all of the mechanics that would entail and all of the setbacks, and all the while still being incredibly ambitious at the same time. So that's kind of why it's really polarizing. Yeah.
But still, I think there is the argument that, you don't have to partake in the gacha elements. And from what you've said and from what I've seen in other reports, like if you made use of the hands-free mode, especially if you are a commuter and you're traveling with the GPS and you're using that to really rack up resources, then it can be very doable. But that's another huge balancing issue that would have negatively impacted people who don't like fucking drive or take trains or whatever.
Yeah.
So like there were ways around
in lifestyles.
Yeah, well, that's true, right? So there were ways around that if you had them, but like it just was not an equal experience as well. But I also could see the point of people really like mourning the loss of having had anything these past few years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big one. I think, we can speculate all we want. We'll never really know unless they tell us. But when the second beta happened, the one in which, you were involved, initially iOS was first, and that was in November. And then the Android testing was delayed It kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed. And then it didn't happen until May. And then the Kuji, which we talked about in part 1, happened. The first Kuji happened, and the candy, there were these advertisements saying, pre-registration is open now. I believe that they fully intended for this to be on its feet in June of 2024. And then that didn't happen I'm pretty sure based off of those betas and information that they got from that. And then they kept pushing it back, and a year later they did not have a clear path forward, and they were ready to pull the plug, and that makes me really sad.
Yeah, that makes sense. That really does make sense. And just hearing that date is just so what happened? So many people are just wondering, this game was more or less done. At least a huge chunk of it was. To the point where clearly something went wrong here. Within it seems to me, I don't know if I'm right in this, but it seems to me between 2024 and 2025, something went horribly wrong. It could be the internal kind of reshaping of Square Enix at the time or something.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of different things. And especially with maybe just the scope of this project, maybe the bubble burst, and they were we spent so much money in market research, in programming, in having this be imagine this running for years. A game like this running for years, all the while working on Kingdom Hearts 4 for a new generation console. That is...
And I think they were ready for it,
That's what they wanted,
the sheer amount of story that is alluded to just in the demo, and the ground that we know that they kind of had to cover during the life of this game if it were to have gone forward. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I think if we're putting on our conspiracy hats, if it's conspiracy hat time, I think your assessment of the situation is accurate. All the things that you're throwing out, I think in order for what happened to have happened, it had to be a perfect storm of all of these things coinciding.
Yeah,
you have the restructuring of the company, some hostile takeover attempts maybe kind of bubbling in the background, shares getting bought out, presidents changing, the mobile division of Square getting murdered, essentially. All the mobile games pretty much at this point have mostly been killed off except for a couple, but it started them. And these tests not really going so great in terms of sustainability. I think there are a couple of conspiracy theories that say that by the time the second beta was over, Square already canceled the game. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's entirely true, but I do think it's almost true. I think that they knew at that point that they really had to pull back. And I think they spent the next year trying to figure out a way to save the game, trying to figure out if there was something else to be done. But what I got was that they were all genuinely surprised that Missing Link got canceled. They kind of found out when we did. So I don't think that they already knew when they delayed it that it was getting canceled for sure. But I could be wrong because I'm not there.
Yeah. I just remember after that beta ended, people were oh, it's being delayed so long, and people are wondering what's going on. Are they going to release it in the hot months of the year? And then we got nothing. And a lot of people, there was such a huge divide between someone like myself who played and experienced this product, and then the people that didn't, that could have opinions at just a trailer, for example. That's just not the same opinion, because I felt what the game was like. And for me, I was you guys are saying it's going to get cancelled? What are you talking about? It's going to come next week. What are you talking? And then the announcement came out.
Right.
And it's it shocked everyone. And it was terrifying because we've never seen a cancellation of this size in Kingdom Hearts history. We've heard rumors about, shows and pilots and projects here and there that have kind of been left on the cutting room floor. Maybe they have a little animatic here or there, but a game that was ready to ship at some point, they just said no. Yeah. Millions upon millions just gone down the drain.
Yeah.
For sure.
Lots of Kingdom Hearts projects got greenlit and have never seen the light of day. And the big difference, especially from Square, is that they usually cancel it way before they would even announce it.
Before people are playing it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, people were already kind of getting attached to the world. Like, if you don't like it, not your cup of tea, this segment is not for you. But I will say the vibes of the game, the vibes of Scala, the music, the characters, the character creation system, those things really, like, Missing Link already had a fandom. Missing Link was already getting people in its corner.
Yeah.
I think the reason why this game felt so kind of rejuvenated was because it threw a lot at you. Totally new story, new characters, new everything, and also new writers. Like, it is not everybody in the core Kingdom Hearts team was working on this game. Like, they wanted it to feel different. I think a lot of people, maybe we can talk more story stuff as much as we knew. A lot of people are kind of throwing their hands in the air, running around going, oh, so much lore is lost. They have to rewrite Kingdom Hearts 4 now. And I don't think that's the case. I think people are blowing that out of proportion and not really. I know that there are characters that are going to appear. I know that there are plot elements that are going to be introduced. I don't think that this was the chain of memories to Kingdom Hearts 4.
Think of it as the Union Cross to KH3. Like, if something happened to Union Cross in the cradle, or even like 2 years in, I don't think that much of KH3 would have had to change to accommodate for that.
That cover was more than adequate to introduce you to what you needed for Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it would be very similar. I do think some core characters like Sigurd, it's very unfortunate that we don't get to see him as much in Missing Link, but he's going to be in 4, unless he gets cut from 4. But we don't really know what that would have been. And I don't think it's like that detrimental. I don't think they're like screaming and crying because it was just a different game. There was just so much in Missing Link, or there was going to be so much in Missing Link. I just cannot see how they needed all of that for 4.
They really did need it super heavily for 4. I think that would have been a mistake anyway,
I respectfully disagree to a certain extent. I do think that, like, Missing Link getting cancelled is going to completely destroy Kingdom Hearts 4 and they have to rewrite it from the ground up. I don't think that at all. Mm-hmm. But as you said, Sigurd was the deciphered voice of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. Mm-hmm. So much so that people have theorized that the man standing next to the Master of Masters is Sigurd or something.
That's what I think, for sure.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? I don't know.
The cancellation of Missing Link has also had like a trickle effect with the entire Key Saga, with, the Dark Road and Union Cross just not being available on the App Store anymore.
Yeah.
And Strelitzia is also right there in the trailer with Sora. And a lot of people don't even know who she is.
That's true.
And they can't. By and large, the communication is already just a sin in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's just awful. And I just want to say, just kind of get something off my chest. I know I'm the guy with a Sigurd profile picture, and I played Missing Link, and I also made a 2-hour-long analog horror short film about a Union Cross character called Brain. But
that's true.
And I really mean this sincerely. I do despise the relegation of Kingdom Hearts to mobile devices. I think to a certain extent we all do. I think it sucks that, like, we obviously yearn for that AAA standard for such an esteemed series, but I do think, on the other hand, it's necessary to adapt to a modern market in order for a series like this to even exist today. And I hear people saying things like, the cancellation was actually a good thing or a net positive for the series.
No.
And I think that is just like an extremely myopic stance and really short-sighted. Like, I have to imagine it comes from a place of just like earnest ignorance and wishful thinking, but no matter how much we despise the gacha philosophy, the complete slaughter of years of assets, development time from the staff, the writers, programmers, market research, that is not healthy for the series, actually. Like, cool, hurrah, death to the gacha game. But in a series which relies on the compartmentalizing of its story, so mainline titles aren't bloated with egregious exposition for crucial characters and story elements, because that's the real reason why smaller titles exist, not because it not only because it gives them leeway to hold fans over while they work on the number titles, but it's also just a cost-effective way to give the number titles the space they need to feel like numbered titles. There are most likely dozens upon dozens of staff members that have sunk years of their life trying to make Missing Link a reality that can no longer even have it on their resume. What good is a game that doesn't exist to them? Do you guys remember I think after the cancellation tweet, Shimamura replied and saying like, "Oh, this is a shame. I really hope you get to hear my music one day." And I'm like, "No."
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
sad, like from all angles. Like, not only are we not getting this game and not getting, the vision of Nomura and the people that worked on the story elements with him, but like it impacts the true vision of what 4 was going to look like. Like
Yeah.
we're in this diverged timeline at this point where we're not
Yeah.
getting the true blue version of what things were meant to be.
It's like if you think about it, Sigurd right now doesn't exist as a character. Like,
Yeah,
he was supposed to be revealed in Missing Link, suspectively, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe we'd have like, if he is in Kingdom Hearts 4, we'd have like, oh my god, it's Sigurd right there. But now we won't have that because this title doesn't exist anymore. So
Yeah.
I think about Shimamura's comment about, I wish you could hear my music someday. And then I think about certain fans saying, good, I'm glad this game is dead.
Yeah,
Let's serve Square Enix right for thinking this was a good idea. And I'm like, guys, there's a pretty nasty disconnect here. And I think like you're not approaching this very well.
no,
I think we need to call it how it is and like make an effort to kind of rephrase this like dogma.
Yeah.
Although the idea of Missing Link was for sure antiquated and poorly implemented,
Right.
the cancellation of something so close to release like this, I think is pretty catastrophic in the long run. And it should never be phrased as a quote unquote good thing. It's never a good thing.
Mm.
And people think it's somehow going to miraculously make Kingdom Hearts 4 come out quicker. Like, no, I think it's likely the opposite. Like, no matter how you look at it, you have two options, I guess. Like, either they have delayed Kingdom Hearts 4 to accommodate for this and they need a little more time to rewrite certain scenes and stuff, maybe even characters, or they shoehorn in expository flashbacks and pace annihilating dialogue with some type of faulty context. Like, do you really think that would be conducive to like a quality experience for Kingdom Hearts 4? So like, I understand the we hate gacha part, but I do not understand the Missing Link is cancelled and we can, celebrate because of that. I don't think it's something worth celebrating about. So like, yeah, I just as I said, with Sigurd being the voice of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, which is like, that was a deciphered puzzle. Like, it kind of reminds me of the old Birth by Sleep Terra thing, like Terra. His name was right. That I'm correct in that, right? Like, that was a thing.
Yeah, in a closed theater. Yeah, there was a secret code that said his name is Terra.
Like that, it felt like an old Kingdom Hearts game again. It felt like those playground rumors started coming back. It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
And then his game no longer exists. Strelitzia obviously plays a big role in the next saga, and her game got removed from the App Store. Like,
it's terrible.
It's just I can't imagine. Like,
someone's
understand
writing in the comments right now being like, well, Sigurd was actually in the end of Union Cross. Like, same thing. Union Cross doesn't exist anymore. So
exactly. Yeah. What game was that? The one that I can't play? Cool.
And honestly, even when it did exist, when people started talking about Sigurd, I swear to God, not many people knew who Strelitzia was. Even fewer know who Sigurd is. They're like, who?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Sigurd? People listening right now, who's Sigurd? We'll get, in the first chunk of this episode, we're going to get into those bits and pieces. But yeah, that all of that is very valid. Sorry, I cut you off. What else were you going to say?
That's okay. I was going to say I should cop the licensing rights for Sigurd because obviously he doesn't exist anymore.
He's up for grabs,
my original character, right?
Do a new IP.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the not remember, but the 24th anniversary Xehanort illustration? Like, that was just got released, right?
Mm-hmm.
How could I? I don't know what you're talking about. It didn't just happen or anything.
So, yeah, that's the second one, right? The first one was from, I believe, a Dark Road interview. Like, it was promoted in a Dark Road interview where there are a lot of questions about Xehanort and Ericus's bloodline, Skold, Odin, and they were all answered with, they will be explained in Missing Link.
Missing Link, yeah.
But no, it's a good thing that it's cancelled because simply screw gacha. Like, I want Kingdom Hearts 4 served to me in my sippy cup with my dinosaur nuggets. So it's just, I don't want to make it sound like I'm defending Missing Link. It's not so much about defending the title. I'm defending the integrity of the story that I've spent 20 years of my life trying to understand. Yeah. I'm denouncing the manner in which we tend to throw writers and developers who are just doing their job under the bus. And if you're like, oh, we're not shitting on them, we're shitting on Square Enix for thinking this was ever going to be a good idea, then I'd say, well, how about not spouting something as baseless as like, good, I'm glad it's dead. You know, now Kingdom Hearts 4 can come out tomorrow. It's like, people aren't thinking about this. And, you know, that's what is the issue here. It's how we phrase our criticisms of this company. And saying like, oh, it's a good thing that this game got millions of dollars wasted. Like, sorry. Because when I hear that, I hear, I don't care about anything that doesn't include Sora. These spin-off games are supplementary despite them being canon, and all I want is my big shiny new game. That's what I hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sorry, but like, since Kingdom Hearts 3, the Dark Seeker saga did not end gracefully. Dark Road was rushed. It was kind of a slog narratively. Again, another hot take. It had dialogue changed in updates, and I think over the past few years, the transition, or rather kind of lack thereof, to the new Lost Masters arc has been like super rocky, to say the least. And now a game that was basically almost ready, was at the finish line, is gone. And sorry, that's not a thing that we should be celebrating here, guys. Come on.
Of course, denounce the nature, of course, of predatory mobile gaming. Absolutely.
Yes.
We can do both takes. Absolutely. Like I said, like,
not every mobile game is like that.
Yeah. But I think, you know, gacha is bad for gaming, but also losing a very story-heavy gacha game is bad for Kingdom Hearts. That's just, again, both things can be true.
I just want to say again, like, I really wish Kingdom Hearts was not on mobile.
Yeah.
I wish we could get like a Switch 2 game. I wish we could get this repurposed in some way, shape, or form. But I don't know if you guys agree with this, but in my opinion, if they were gonna repurpose this game, they would have said so in that announcement. They wouldn't have just outright cancelled the game. I just can't really see it. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts.
I have thoughts on that, but I'm gonna wait for the.
Yeah, we have a question about that.
Yeah, we do. Okay. We've got a user question, but it's a good question. It's a very good question. And before we get to that question, was there anything else, Sonny, that you kind of wanted to reiterate? We didn't really get to talk a lot about the character customization of it all, or specific pieces that you liked or were looking forward to. Pat, I don't know if you had any questions about
I honestly,
other game mechanics.
Well, two questions. I'll start with the kind of superficial one. Did your phone just get like super fucking hot when you played this? Like, I wondered that since the trailer. I was like, this would destroy whatever iPhone I had at the time.
Yeah, I do remember the battery on my phone just dying. Like, it was never the same. It was like a traumatic event for my phone.
Right.
But I was playing it religiously for hours every single day for that week. So I guess there's that. And I kept it on. I was streaming it. So I would like play it at work or have it on in the background at work. And then I'd get home and I'd stream it for hours and hours. So like that probably had a lot to do with it. But yeah, for sure.
You cook an egg on your phone with Missing Link.
You really could. Yeah. I found a piece that everyone got, and it was like a Mickey, like a golden 3-star Mickey piece. And there was like a bunch of rarity options. You had like 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. You had like rainbow. And this Mickey piece was something that everyone got. And it was essentially just a huge nuke for the entire field. And you could just accumulate so much experience and just wipe waves of Heartless in the astral plane. And did a ton of damage, but had a ton of cooldown. So you can kind of view these pieces as like assists where, sure, they cost MP, but they all had their own independent cooldown periods. And as I said earlier, they're all based on Kingdom Hearts characters, Disney characters. Do you remember they kind of tested an event during the beta where they had silhouettes of characters that were revealed to be Sully and Rapunzel. I think that was like kind of like a taster for what was to come with Missing Link, that you would get these kind of pop-ups here and there with fan favorite characters. All these pieces did different things. You had Sora, who was incredibly powerful, who had this AoE Eroga type effect, which was incredible. Donald had the same with Blizzaga. I think Dark Riku had something like Stun Impact. So you just got to play with all of these different abilities and have this incredible build for yourself. But you also had a litany of different keyblades. I think I should talk about.
Sonny, do you think you would have liked Missing Link, like just to play it if it wasn't Kingdom Hearts?
Wow, what a question.
Ooh.
I know it's hard to
So-
untangle because it's like would I play something like, I don't know, Chain of Memories or Recoded if it wasn't tied to something I already loved? Like I really don't know, but Missing Link I feel like is an entirely different beast.
I'm not gonna lie, I really did enjoy just the gameplay loop. I woke up every day looking forward to playing it, and I think that's a good sign because I never actually played Union Cross when it was live. I never did
Whoa.
that.
He's a gold
I've
star.
never really played any mobile game like that. I was really late on the Pokemon Go train. I think I installed it like 2022 or something. I played it for like a month, and I was like, it's okay. And then I just never played it because I just kind of passed that wave. The only mobile game that I play is TCG Pocket, the Pokemon card game, and I haven't spent a single penny on that game. I played it for a year. And so, yeah, I think it was a fun standalone game in and of itself. I really do think so.
Did you play Pokemon Go because Missing Link was announced? Because you said 2022.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I think I just realized that I missed that wave, and I'd never really been like a smartphone guy. I've only had I'm on my third smartphone that I've had in my entire life. I think I had my last I had a Samsung, which I played Missing Link on. I'm on the newest iPhone right now because I just needed it. And the one I got before that was like the iPhone, I think 2.
Oh, wow.
And those are the only smartphones that I've had. And I'm just not really kind of on my phone like that. Yeah, I just kind of, wanted to try Pokemon Go because it was like a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, why not? And by that point, maybe Square Enix should have realized this, but like after lockdown, I think just the entire market just shifted, and it just shifted, and maybe Missing Link just kind of got caught up in that, and it was just too late. And it makes me think of what PJ said about like people were saying that like maybe it was cancelled before it got officially announced to be cancelled, like internally cancelled. I don't think it was like that. I do agree with PJ where like they tried to salvage what they could. They really, really tried, and I could kind of get that. And it's so hard to talk about as someone who played it, because I really do think if people in America played it too, they wouldn't be so quick to hate on it. They wouldn't be so quick to be like, oh, it's finally another gacha. Like Square Enix will learn their lesson, like
it's tough that the loudest people on the globe are the people that didn't get to play the game, and thus we will be yelling the most about how it's a good thing that it's gone.
Why do you guys think America never got one, a beta?
I don't think they had the infrastructure for it.
I was going to say, I mean, it's such a big place, these United States.
Yeah, maybe what you said was right about kind of Japan modeling the game for itself. Kind of makes me want to talk about like some of the mechanics that I wrote about in the survey after I finished playing the beta. They asked us like, oh, what things would you like to see more of? What things would you like to see less of? Like, what did you think? Like, what was your overall experience? And anyone that's out there that watched me play or watched anyone play or like played it themselves, for example, would know about the meta of Light's Order. Do you guys know about that?
No.
So Light's Order was one of the Keyblades that you got that you would get. So you'd have a brand new Keyblade called Fortune Gear, which was like your standard melee based Keyblade, which everyone can pick up and play. But Light's Order was a strictly magic based Keyblade, where you didn't have to attack physically at all. Light's Order was incredibly broken at face value. Everybody was running it. If you watch most stream footage and raid matches, and everyone was using it. And the reason why it made a lot of other options, it just made a lot of other options in the game redundant. Like, it was literally bringing a gun to a sword fight, because it shot homing balls of light to wherever you were locked onto while moving. Oh. So you could move side to side while attacking. You could move away from your target while attacking. You could do this in the air as well. You could charge up a powerful shot out of a double jump or something. So by the time you landed, you were like full charge and you could let it rip. And like you could spam it during a jump, an air dash. You didn't really need to engage with any enemy. So basically, in a game without guarding, movement is gonna be king. And if you can't defend against incoming attacks traditionally, of course, the best course of action would be to like avoid attacks, right? And Light Order granted the player the ability to cover pretty much all options in the most optimal way, which is, kind of a bad thing, because I'd like to think that in a Kingdom Hearts game, like hitting things with your Keyblade is going to be the pinnacle of combat, I guess. And when doing that is literally suboptimal, and you'd rather just float around the screen, just spamming something, and it's just you shoot balls of light, it doesn't really feel like a Kingdom Hearts game. So I kind of wrote like they needed to balance that. And other than that, it was just, the connection issues, especially with raid battles. I believe the game implemented something called rollback netcode, which is like a style of internet, like a predictory style of netcode, which helps prevent the perception of lag by like reading the current game state during poor connection and then predicting what the most appropriate game state would be in the following frames, which is like really smart and nerdy. I think that's a good summary of what rollback is. But essentially, if it's poorly implemented, it really shows, because characters and enemies will start teleporting everywhere. Like the lag spikes would be crazy, because the game is trying to predict a million different things at once on different phones and everything like that. And since I was teaming up with players in Japan, I teamed up with Damo in Australia, of course. And if the game's goal was to be this like worldwide experience, then Japan didn't really, I think they were a little bit too ambitious with this one. And something like fine-tuning online functionality can take so much time and money, especially like for a live service multiplayer game like this. So that was kind of something that I was worried about. And I wrote that in the survey, like, how are you going to make this work for years? Like, I guess that's a question. How long do you guys think Missing Link was going to be live for?
Oh, Lord.
I think, concurrently, obviously, with the release of 4, whenever that would have been, and then, I would assume for a little while after, like Union Cross was with 3. But it's hard to even say, like, what was the window supposed to be when you look at like this timeline of delays up until the cancellation? Like, in their perfect world, what was it supposed to look like? 2020, late 2022 until possibly 4 years from now, maybe.
If I had to guess, I would guess that they would have opted to keep it on for as long as possible. The more likely thing is either they had a roadmap of what they wanted the Key Saga to look like, and they had a plan for that. Whether it meant other games or whatever, who knows? I think the more likely thing, though, is for them to treat it like the live service type of model that Final Fantasy XIV kind of has, where the game is online, but the story segments, you have like these seasons. They had talked about how the method for updates that Union Cross had was unacceptable. How nobody would have wanted that for Missing Link, and how that was not going to be the case. And, we can kind of see that there was a lot happening with Missing Link at launch, or would have been at launch. So I feel like it would have been an arc-based system where they had a lot up front, and then they would take a while, and then they would develop the next arc, and then they take a while.
I think as a product, it would be very different if it like trickled over into like Kingdom Hearts 4's release, and maybe even beyond that. Because it's so hard to say like whether Missing Link would have like led directly into Kingdom Hearts 4, or if it was just this kind of like expository backstory to certain mechanics that may or may not co-align with the future of the saga. But for sure, it's just a shame that like, characters like Brain, we don't know what's going to happen to them. We don't even know if we will see them again.
We're recording this in April. By the time this episode gets out, it'll be mid-May if I'm doing my math right. So we will be once this drops, we'll have surpassed the 1 year mark since the cancellation. I was just looking at the post where they announced that, and the reasoning that they gave. They said they thought it was going to be too difficult to offer a service that would satisfy players over a long period of time. Do you think that's like ultimately the truest reason, or is that just like the public facing like PR thing that we're going to say?
I think that was definitely a chunk of it. Of course, they're never going to be communicative and transparent about like the internal dealings of shareholders. They're never going to mention any of that stuff, right?
Right.
But I do think that they were like, damn, like we really developed this game in the hopes that like the huge kind of GPS mobile market would have been a thing, and post Kingdom Hearts 3 and post lockdown and all this kind of stuff. Dark Road did not meet their expectations. They cut that short. So they were like, oh, well, we've just spent so much money and so many resources on this.
I do think that is the ultimate truth.
Yeah.
But I think the way that we interpret it and the reasons why they wrote what they did may be different things, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is true they would not have been able to make everybody happy for a long time. Mobile games, another reason why you could be against them is because like they don't end triumphantly. They burn out.
Yeah.
Like
they die.
They slowly die.
Sometimes they make 2 women in Japan and just work on the rest of it, and then they release those.
Basically. And I'm sure that like we couldn't make everybody happy is not wrong based off of every way that you could look at it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have made people who hate mobile games happy. We wouldn't have made people who love mobile games happy. We wouldn't have been able to keep the game running across the world at scale.
Yeah.
And have a smooth system that worked properly. There's a million reasons why, but all of them do end up being the same thing, which is that like we couldn't have made people happy. And I also think that it's important to know that it doesn't mean, like what you said earlier, that Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming any quicker, because they weren't all working the same team. Maybe a lot of them did go off to work on Kingdom Hearts 4, but it's not like they can just funnel resources.
Right. It's not like you copy paste the missing link stuff into 4. Like, it's like a Band-Aid. Yeah.
I don't know. That kind of leads into our question.
I feel like there's been like this cloud of gloom over. Obviously, there has to be when we're talking about missing link, but we do have something a bit more lighthearted perspective, maybe hopeful even.
Well, even speculative, I would say.
Yeah.
It's kind of long-winded, so I might edit this a bit in post, but I think the context is important in terms of us, like, kind of keeping an eye on, like, the way that this is framed. So this is the letter that we got from Nexus.
Hi, Nexus.
Goes by he, him. Hello. Hi, Nexus. Hello, PJ. Hello, Pat. And now Sonny. Nexus here. Very big fan of the podcast. And you're a couple married for 30 plus years who think taking a divorce is a waste of time, so they keep living together anyway. Dynamic. I'm writing this email because I want to offer a point for discussion regarding what Square can do to make it so that Missing Link isn't, well, missing anymore. If this email arrives after you already did your Missing Link episode, whoops. But I hope you can humor me anyway. Guess what? I held it. I waited for this. You're welcome. In the past few years, we've been seeing a pretty positive trend of gachas and live service games getting offline versions after their end of service. In recent time, that happened with games like Mega Man Gacha or Let It Die. I've never heard of Let It Die, but Let It Die is a very funny name for a gacha game.
Yeah, please, let it die.
Let It Die. While I imagine you are probably guessing where I'm going with this, there is actually one example I think the team behind Missing Link can follow, and it comes out of Square themselves, and I think it's actually the best offline remaster ever. I also hope the following explanation isn't too convoluted. I tried my best to make it clear enough. We will see. Long story short, Octopath Zero, the offline version, had a bunch of story content that was not in the original gacha, and in fact, all the storylines, one way or another, ended up getting remade or rewritten to make them more personal to the protagonist that you can create, I guess. So because Octopath Zero isn't a gacha anymore, it means you cannot pull for characters, so in exchange, you find party members around the world, and that's how they join your team now. I see. I was leaning towards the opinion that Missing Link was probably going to be stuck in limbo. But after I played Octopath Zero, my tune changed. It is proven as a shining example that Square is capable of turning gacha material into excellent single-player games and offers a solution to a goddamn mess that is Square's mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Those are Nexus's words, not mine. Kingdom Hearts fans are also not the only ones suffering. Nier fans are also begging. Yes, oh my god, Nier reincarnation. Put it into my veins. Begging for the same thing as they had their own gacha, Nier Reincarnation, which is not only canon, its ending has massive implications for the franchise, and people want it easily available too. Ever Crisis was supposed to act as the preservation tool for Final Fantasy VII games, but nope. Many storylines, before Crisis especially, are still not part of it, despite being promised for over 4 years. We know that the current Square CEO pretty much went scorched earth on the mobile games department, which is why Missing Link probably got canceled in the first place. Well, yeah, one of the many reasons. His plan is to refocus on single-player titles. So, to get to the crux of this email, do you think it's possible, even feasible, for Missing Link to be remade in a similar fashion to how Octopath was remade? Thanks for reading and your thoughts, Nexus. That was a long email. It was important to know that Square has successfully turned a gacha game into a single player campaign. Even though it is a different team and a different type of game, food for thought, right? Can Missing Link be salvaged?
Well, it's an incredibly strong wish, but I think the big difference here is those gacha games actually existed and Missing Link never got a chance to. And I think introducing it to the public is a big thing, and people only knew, like a majority of the planet only knew Missing Link through its trailers and seeing people maybe stream a beta or something like that and screenshots and all of the stuff. So I guess like the interesting question is like not only, what would this expansive kind of offline experience be like? It's also like, is it feasible? Could it happen? And I think what Pat said earlier about how the announcement, the way it was cancelled was written. They said at the end pretty much like, hey, here's our reasoning. We're sorry about this. Please look forward to Kingdom Hearts 4, which to me says, look, sorry guys, we couldn't make this happen. Just pay attention to Kingdom Hearts 4 right now. I mean, that's my boring answer. I guess my real answer, what I would love to happen was like, yes, of course, like that would be an amazing, like something on the PC that would like kind of, like maybe you'd have like the story segments and elements on your PC, and then I don't know, maybe like you could have like a connected app on your phone that you could like go out and get experience and stuff like that, and then come back and then connect to your PC again and just play through the rest of the story. Like that would be an amazing like dream come true. But yeah, I think that that cancellation message was pretty damning to me, and a lot of people are like, oh, like, can it be a cutscene movie like back cover? And I guess the answer is yeah. I guess it could be.
That's what I lean towards.
Back cover was made from the ground up to be what it is. It's like shot and paced at a certain way, held off, kept it delayed until they had this new trailer, this new re-announcement of like Missing Link, whatever. Like I don't,
Yeah, I think to piggyback off of what Sonny was saying about like a cutscene movie, I think like in an ideal world where like shareholders don't matter, they've been dethroned, they feed me grapes and fan me with palm fronds. There's like a cutscene compilation movie, right? Or like it's like a back cover-esque thing for Missing Link. But also, it's going to be like a package of the mobile arc, the saga, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to have like some official, like, maintained forever version of Union Cross and Dark Road. And then the third pillar is Missing Link. And maybe it's like a $20 to $30 thing. Maybe there's not even like fucking gameplay, or maybe there's just like museum things and it's mostly just cutscenes. Like I don't ever see Missing Link existing fully realized, like even gameplay wise, but I think story wise there's some grounds there to do something.
It would be great if there were a single player version of it. It would be great if they decided, mobile was not the way, but let's do an MMO. If it were a movie, if it were an anime, if it were a book, if it were a cutscene compilation, any of these would be preferable to it just not existing to me. Whether or not it'll actually happen, I am not in the same boat as these guys, or at least as Sonny, and I'll tell you why. I think what's really interesting about the cancellation notices are that Tetsuya Nomura has not said a word. None of this has gone through his mouth. He has not signed off on it. He has not acknowledged it. This was obviously not his choice. If
He's
it was
always
his
planning
choice,
something.
he has a hard time letting go.
He's
Look
crafty.
at Versus.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I mean, look at
what's
KH4.
happened
Like
to it.
KH4 is going to, it's going to carry that legacy.
We have an example of a canceled Kingdom Hearts game being put back into the canon, which was Birth by Sleep Volume 2. 0.2 is not that, but it was enough of it where people were like, oh, the promise has been fulfilled.
Right.
I don't think he lets things go. And these characters, like, he obviously loves Brain.
And Remus, he's made that character, like, that's like the third or fourth Reno that he's made. This time he's called Remus.
It's so true.
I don't think he's going to let go of the story. I think the reason why, maybe they're working on something, maybe they're not. I think the thing of it is that, like, not now. Like, we cannot do it now.
God, do 4 first.
We can't let 4 be held hostage by this game. Like, we are hemorrhaging money. We have to focus on 4 and get it out. I think if they might have something in the back of their mind to reapproach it later, which is why they didn't say anything now. Because maybe they don't know what the move is. Maybe it's contingent on 4 doing really well and the series being revitalized, where it's like, okay, well now let's bring the mobile games back to life in a different way so that you get context on all these characters from 4. I could very much see that happening. What form that takes, I don't know. Until Nomura talks more about it himself, I'm not sold either way.
We have to buy like 5 copies of KH4 apiece. If
We're
Square
going to
Enix
anyway.
is like, we're gonna give you a code, I'm like, motherfucker, you need the money. I'm buying this.
That's the question. Thank you, Nexus. Anybody who wants to send us a question, you could always write in nosadfacepodcast@gmail.com. We're answering. Sonny, we've run out of D-Link juice. So, you know, it happens every time we have a third.
Should have brought some balloon letters, am I right? BBS fans.
Okay, bye.
Get out.
No.
Thank you for coming. Sonny, where can everybody find you?
I guess nowhere, really. I haven't been very active. I mean, Sonny Novus on YouTube, and on X, Twitter, Blue Sky as well. Yeah. That's pretty much it. And I'm currently working on a very, very big project in regards to Riku.
Cool.
And I hope to get that out at some point in my life. That would be great. I would really like to do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. This has been a delight. I hope I did okay.
You did great.
Really,
you did great.
Thank you.
Better than us.
Yeah, I haven't really talked about Missing Link since, roughly it was cancelled. It's just a shame that, you guys can never, ever, ever experience it like I did. And I'll always hold that over you. So.
Thanks, Sonny.
I think it's time for you to go. So.
Quick,
Okay, that's enough of that.
Yeah, okay.
I just cut the call on Sonny.
You just removed him from the group.
I sure did. That was a lot of fun. Sonny's definitely in our top 4 guests for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that does it. The letter is done. The segments are done. Sonny came
kicked out on the street.
Sonny left. Not so
Cloudy
Sonny
Novus
anymore.
over here now. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Cool.
Good
that we have homogenized enough that we are making the same bad joke.
Happy Pride.
Yeah. That's not what homogeny means.
What? It doesn't mean we get gay together?
No, those are homogenes.
Ah, got it.
Thanks for listening to another episode of No Sad Face Podcast. We really try to have videos out every other week. And I think we've been pretty successsul so far.
Frankly, we fucking crush it.
Who knows? As of this episode, maybe we're off track.
It's possible.
Again, recording them in advance, but you can always listen to our stuff. You can learn everything about us. You can find all of our socials, everything you need at nosadface.com. We have our socials. We have the socials of the people who have done stuff with and for us. For example, David, who edits all of the videos and he does all of the music, and he sometimes edits the audio, but not all the time. Esper does our lovely art. Thank you, Esper. Esper's the best. Special shout out to Sonny Novus, of course, for joining us again.
Yeah.
The website also has links to our Patreon. You don't have to spend any money on us. The best thing you can do for the show is to spread the love. But if you want to, send some money our way, it goes to making the thing, and that's it.
Yep.
Also, huge shout out to our subscribers in general, leaving comments, liking it. I gotta say, it would be really nice if we got to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the second season. And we're
Might
very
happen
close.
by the time this got out. You don't know.
We're so close. Yeah, and I think we can do it. I think you can do it if you just move your little finger,
Just move your little
finger
fucking finger
over to the subscriber button.
Get your hand out of the fucking Doritos. Jesus Christ. We don't ask for that much besides money every time we post an episode.
Seriously, money and attention.
Please.
Golly. It's a lot of fun. There's also there's usually a lot of cosplayers there. When I went, there was this really hot dad who was dressed as Kronk, huge, bulking, gorgeous, and he had on a baby backpack that had his baby as Yzma in her little carry-on gondola thing that he has in the movie. It was the cutest cosplay I'd ever seen.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I hope he's not around because Alex.
Yeah, the Alex of it all. Yeah.
Although Alex has said,
maybe I should dress up as Kronk.
and then I'm like, you cannot carry me. What am I going to do? I'm going to wear a black bodysuit and then have a skeleton hanging from my neck. And then that's my Yzma. Although kind of funny. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Yeah. No.
Only that I think you could do this one thing.